Hi, my name's Ruan and this is my channel, The Yorkshire Sew Girl. How are we all doing? I hope you're very, very well. I am just okay. Not gonna lie, I have been poorly for a couple of days, which has been rubbish because here in the UK it's been a bank holiday weekend, which means we've got a 3-day weekend instead of a 2-day weekend. I had loads of plans and I had to cancel them all. So today is Bank Holiday Monday and it's the first time I've got up washed myself and put a bit of slap on just for you guys. So I've kind of got a free day. So I thought I'd come on and have a chat with you guys. Now, because it is bank holiday, all of my neighbours outside have decided to do lots of stuff outside the house. So if you start hearing lawnmowers, drills, that kind of thing, that's the reason why. But we're just going to go with it and pretend that it's not actually happening. So yeah, I had a bit of a tummy bug, but I started feeling a little bit better yesterday evening. And yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today, thankfully, because it wasn't pretty, basically. So while I've got a little bit of spare time today, I thought I'd come on and talk to you about makes. Now, I know I don't do makes videos very often. And there's a reason for that. And that's because sometimes I don't actually make that much. So sometimes I'll make just like 2, maybe 3 things a month, if that. And then other times I might make 5 or 6, depending on time, what the actual projects are, etc, etc. So yeah, a while ago, quite a while ago, itchy ear, I talked about 6 dress patterns that I wanted to make, and they were kind of revolved around work dresses. So something that I could wear as the weather was warming up, and some that I could hopefully then transition into the autumn months as well. So I chose 6 patterns, I showed you guys them, and I kind of said, how would you think I'm going to get done? And some people were like, 6 dresses, don't be silly. Are you crazy, woman? Well, I made 5. I did. I actually made 5 of them. Woohoo. Now, one of them was my Style Arc Parma dress, which I did in collaboration with the lovely Stacey from Stacey J Studio. So I've already done a full review on that. If you're interested and you haven't seen that, please do go back onto my channel and you can check out a full vlog just on that. And to just let you know, I love it. It's absolutely gorgeous and it's probably one of my favourite dresses. So I will definitely be making that one again. So yeah, so I've got 4 dresses and 1 other thing to show you, which I'll show you now. Okay, so make number 1 is this. Can you tell I'm a bit proud of it? Yes, this is the quilt that I have been doing with Craftsy, who are the sponsors of today's video. Now, I have been doing the 101 quilting class by Libs Elliott, and last time I spoke to you in a makes video, I was very close to having this finished, and now it is done and I am super chuffed. Don't look too close, there's loads of cat hair on it. But now I have completed all of my binding. So you can see on this side, it is all done. Now, on the 101 quilting course that I've been taking with Craftsy, Libs tells you how to do the binding. And I know there's loads of different ways you can do the binding, but I've been trying to follow hers exactly. And hers was hand stitched. So you'll see a video of me probably now, I'll insert it, with me hand stitching, which was quite nice because I could then sit in front of the TV and watch Emily in Paris. Yes, love that show. And hand stitch all of this down, which was wonderful because it took a while, but because I was sat kind of in front of the TV just taking my time, I found it quite therapeutic actually. So I think in future, if I do another quilt, I probably will hand stitch it. So yeah, here is the quilt, the back of the quilt. You'll be able to see there, look, that it's just hand stitched all the way along. So I'm super, super, super chuffed with this. So anybody who doesn't know who Craftsy are, they're the online resource for all things creative. Classes are taught through instructional videos taught by talented and friendly experts. And the good thing about it is you can connect with fellow makers as well. So you can ask questions, share ideas, get inspired. And as a member, you'll also have access to Craftsy's live streaming tutorials where expert instructors share their tips, answer questions and engage with the Craftsy community in real time. And I think the word community is quite a an important word. I know I've talked about it in a lot of other previous vlogs, that sewing can sometimes be very solitary, can't it? And sometimes you don't necessarily have access to sewing socials, that kind of thing, or sewing classes. So Craftsy, I think, would be quite key for people that maybe are feeling a little bit isolated, that want to learn something new and can then also get involved, and there's that interaction there as well. So if you are interested, the first 1,000 people to sign up using the link in the description box below will get 1 year's full premium membership for just $1.49. So I know quite a few of you have been messaging me who've already signed up to this offer and been talking all about it with me, which I love. So do give me some feedback on that. If you do sign up, let me know kind of what you're looking at doing. So now for me, it's my turn now to start having a look at all the things that I've put as my favourites in the app as to what I want to tackle next, because I have completed my quilt. Yay! Thank you very much, Craftsy, for sponsoring this video. Okay, so on to the dresses. So which one shall we go for first? I think we will go for the Jennifer Lauren Handmade Quincy dress. Now, I have made a Jennifer Lauren pattern before, and it was the jumpsuit. Can't remember the name of it. If I remember, which I probably won't, I'll try and pop it down here. But I have made a jumpsuit which has got a very similar bodice actually, and I've got a funny feeling that actually Jennifer Lauren Handmade, you can swap and change the bottoms and the tops as well of quite a few of her patterns. So this is the pattern here. It's a lovely V-necked buttoned up top. Along here you've got a yoke, you've got bust darts, and then you've got a couple of sleeve options. So one's just a straight sleeve, and this one's got a cuff with, can you see, a tiny little indent in it. It's got a really beautiful panelled skirt, and then these pockets are kind of set into the panel, and then you have a drawstring as well. So I decided to make mine in a fabric from, I think, Pink Box. Now I'm just going to show you a little bit of it now, and then I will put some photos up so you can see it full length and see it in a bit more detail. But this is the dress here, and I really, really like it actually. I don't tend to go for shorter dresses. I tend to go for midi or maxi dresses, which is very opposite to how I used to be about 10 years ago. I wouldn't have dreamt of wearing a midi dress, and now I love them. But yeah, I went for something a bit shorter, and the reason I did that with this one is A, fabric limitations, but also B, I wanted to be able to wear it with boots and tights in the winter, because it is actually a dark fabric. So it's black background with these lovely neutral like blush pinks, whites, greens, etc. in the flowers. I used these gorgeous Pigeon Wishes buttons, if you can see them there without them catching the light too much, which I thought went really, really well. And then you have a drawstring in the middle. Now, I tend to use laces for my drawstrings. I bought a pack a long time ago from Amazon or eBay, I can't remember, and it had like 20 pairs of shoelaces in all different colours, and I have them in a box in my cutting table, and every now and again I just dive into them, and all I do is I cut the ends off, I sew the ends together, and then it creates a nice drawstring with the ends kind of all done and neat and tidy for you. So I went with the cream one for that. I don't know if I'm going to keep the cream or whether I might change to a black, I'm not sure. But yes, it's got a lovely yoke on the back, if you can see it here, and the yoke is put in using the burrito method. I've got a little label there that says "To Me, Love Me." I think that might have come as a present in my So Hayley Jane boxes when I'd got to a year. I went for the cuff sleeve that's got the little indent in. However, the indent's not that big. I was a bit like, oh, kind of wasn't much point in that. So I think if I was to do it again, I would make that, if I put my hand in there, I'll make that indent a little bit bigger, because it's kind of pointless. But I think I did it right. I went back and had a look at the pattern piece. I think I'd done it right. But yeah, it's got these really nice cuffs on it, and then these panels going down with pockets here. These are really nicely constructed pockets actually, like on the front of the dress, but in part of the panel. Anyway, I'll pop some photos up so you can see. I'm not going to go into all the details of what the size ranges are and things like that for the whole pattern, because I did that in my plans video. But I will talk to you about the size that I've kind of made in it. So just for frame of reference, 43, 38, 46, okay? So I should have been on the bust an 18 to 20, on the waist a 20, and on the hips a 16 to 18. I went for an 18, so I should have been 18, 20 on the top, which gave me nearly 2 inches of ease. I went with exactly my waist measurements because it didn't really matter too much on that because it was going to be brought in by a drawstring, and then I couldn't be bothered to grade back in for the hips, so I just went with a 20 on the hips as well. So I did an 18, 20, 20. You just need fabric, thread, interfacing, buttons, and your drawstring for this one. Now you can use eyelets, but I've got a fear of them. And the reason for that is because I've put some eyelets into jersey page hoodies and they've all started to rip. So husband bought me the Prim Vario Tool maker machine thingy for my birthday recently. So that is my challenge to myself, is to start getting a bit more experience in that. So all I did instead is I just did buttonholes. Because you know me, I'm a little bit of a freak and I like a buttonhole. So I did buttonholes on mine, which I tend to do for anything that's got a drawstring. That's just how I am. So I extended this by 3 inches. So the skirt panels, because they come in 6 panels, so 3 at the back, 3 at the front, I had to extend all 6 pieces, which was a bit of a pain in the butt, but never mind. And what's good about this pattern is it does come in 4 bust sizes as well. So it comes in an A to D, so A, B, C and D. Like I say, you've got the 2 sleeve options, but it's got bust darts to create the shaping around the front. It's really nice. I'm not so sure about myself with a V-neck though. I don't know. I like a V-neck because you can wear a necklace. It's the only reason, I think. But I do think that I suit more of either a high neck or like a shirt collar type neck. I don't know. When you see other photos, you can let me know in the comments section what you think anyway. But yes, it wasn't like a really quick and simple make, because obviously you've got the panelled skirt to put together and the pockets, then the drawstring, the buttons, it's got a facing, it's got the burrito method for the yoke, it's got cuffs on the sleeves. So it's not a quick and easy make, but it was one that I really enjoyed. The instructions were really good. I had no issue whatsoever with any of it. So I would actually highly recommend, and I would consider making this again, but making a longer version as well. I think that would be really nice. So that is make number 2. What should we do next? Let me get my little folder out with my horrendous drawings in. Let's do, I'll show you one now. The Tilly and the Buttons Lotta dress. This is my picture. Lord help us all. Anyhow, Tamlin always takes Mickey out my drawings. Then she sent me one the other day because she'd done her own drawing. She was like, I think I'm actually as bad as you at these drawings. I felt a little bit better then. So this is the Lotta dress. It's quite an old pattern actually from Tilly and the Buttons, and I've made it once when I was a lot thinner. So it must be a good 3 or 4 years ago maybe that I made this, and it's kind of just sat in my stash. But I did cut the paper pattern out. I know, which was silly of me because obviously I put weight on since then. So I ordered the PDF because they had an offer on, and I just got that printed because I had everything else. So I have cut a different size out to what I'd made before. These are your options on the back. So you can do a long sleeve version, short sleeve version, short length, longer length. You can have patch pockets on it if you so wish. And the good thing about this pattern is you can make it in both wovens and knit. Now, let me show you what fabric I made it out of. Oh, do you know what? This has sat in my stash for a long time, and I've never got round to using it. And now I've used it, I'm in love with it. I just love, oh, it's not been ironed very well there. Just ignore that bit. Just ignore that bit there. It's not been ironed very well. Yeah, this fabric is a beautiful viscose in this like cobalt blue with black splodges on, which kind of makes it look animal print, I think. This was from Rainbow Fabrics, God, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, before I was a brand ambassador for them. I bought a lot of my fabrics from them, and yeah, I just absolutely love it, and I feel really good in this. When I looked at the photos of myself when I'd taken them, I thought, yeah, that colour really does work for me, and I love the fact that it's quite bright and bold. Although I love the other fabric for the Jennifer Lauren dress, I feel like this is more me, fabric-wise. So I did the short version, I did the midi length. Obviously it's elasticated here in the middle, which I just love, cinches me in a little bit, and I can also poof this bit out a little bit. It has facings all the way around the front and the back. I'm not a massive fan of facings, it depends what the garment is. But what I tend to do to make sure that my facing stays in and doesn't flip up is I will sew and stitch in the ditch along here, along the shoulder seams, and I'll also put, when I put my label on, which is a little rosy cheeks one here, look, I will actually sew it right the way through to the back. So can you see that there? You'll probably see this a lot in ready to wear garments actually, but you don't realise it. And I tend to sew my label all the way through both layers, not just the facing, and that helps to keep that then anchored, if that makes sense. So that is the dress. Again, I will pop some photos in so that you can see. Size wise, I should have made a 7/8 on the top, an 8 on the waist, and a 7/8 on the bottoms. So because I was a 7/8 on the bust and there was plenty of ease, I went with a 7, gave me a couple of inches ease. I went with an 8 on the waist, again didn't really matter too much anyway because it's elasticated, and on the bottom I went down to a 7 because it had 61.5 inches, so I knew I had plenty of room. And yeah, all you need for this is fabric, thread, iron-on interfacing, and 10mm elastic. And I have to say, it was such a quick and easy make, and I'm in love with it. Like I said, I did make it once before, which is really funny because it was a fabric from Rainbow Fabrics. It was a crepe fabric in a bright blue, and I did really enjoy it, but I'm not a massive fan of crepe fabric, and I didn't know that then when I made it. I don't mind it when it has a bit of a blend, viscose crepe blend, but when it's just pure crepe, I don't like the feel of it on me. It's like socks on carpet. So it gives me the ick. Anyway, too much information. So it kind of feels like that's like a replica of it, but in a really nice, beautiful, soft fabric that I love. So yeah, really, really pleased with the fabric in itself. It sewed up beautifully. It didn't snag, no, nothing. It's just one of them really well-behaved ones. But I think this pattern probably would only take 2 to 3 hours, if that, from cutting out all the way through, because your pattern pieces are really simple as well. You can have patch pockets on the front. I decided not to put the patch pockets on because it was viscose and I didn't want them to kind of bag out at all. So I left those off. So again, it made it like a super quick and easy make because I didn't even have to put those on. I would love to make a jersey version. So in my last vlog, I was wearing a ready to wear garment, and it was from Wallace, I think it was, animal print jersey. And when I bought it, it was in the sale. I'd been influenced by somebody on Instagram, I think, and I bought it straight away, and I wear it and I love it. But I realised when I was wearing it that it was basically a Lotta dress. And I was like, oh, could have made that myself. But I got it at such a good price, probably wouldn't have been able to buy that kind of fabric, that amount of fabric. But I'm definitely going to make this in a jersey. I've just got to wait and find a really nice jersey that I love, because at the moment, I don't think there's anything in my stash particularly that's jumping out at me. But I think it would be perfect secret pyjamas. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. I did extend the skirt by 2 inches because Tilly and the Buttons patterns are drafted for 5'6" and I'm 5'8". So yeah, another one where I can just wang on my Bertha cardigan in that black ribbed fabric, some tights and boots, and be kitted out hopefully for autumn winter as well for work. So I think that'd be really good transitional between the seasons as well, which is what I'm kind of looking to do at the moment. So that was a number 2 dress, number 3 make all together. Let me get on to the next page of my book. Right, next we're going to talk the Vienne dress. Now, I have done a review of this before with my fellow Northern Soul sisters as part of the All Set to Sew dressmaking course. So this is the Vienne dress by Size Me Sewing, the lovely Donna, and this is the line drawing at the back. So it's a plain bodice. It's actually sewn in 2 pieces here with a ribbon and button. You've got lovely sleeves that are elasticated, and then this here is elasticated and also gathered. There's 2 tiers. Now, there's no variations to this. It's kind of, this is what it is. Obviously, you can do your own variations to it if you so wish. but I really, really like this pattern. I wasn't sure whether it would suit me and my body proportions, but when I made it previously, I really enjoyed it, and I was surprised because I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. And every time I wore it, I got complimented on it. But it was in a black fabric with little flowers on it, and I wanted to make it in a fabric that was kind of more me. So I made it in this fabric. Which is definitely more me. I haven't actually got round to wearing this yet, so I might wear this to work this week. I don't know if it's because it's red and it's quite in your face. It's very opposite to the black one that I've made, but I love it. This again has been a fabric that was sat in my stash for ages. It's another Rainbow Fabrics one actually that I've had for so long, and I've just been waiting for the right thing. And then when I got my colours done and red was kind of, yes, red is your thing, I was like, I'm just going to do it. So I've made this up in red, but I need to obviously wear it. So it's finished with bias binding all the way around. I put this little label in that says, what does it say? Made for me. Little hearts on, which I thought was very appropriate. I got a little red button out of my stash. Don't you just love it when you've got odd buttons and then a pattern calls for just one button and then you're like, yes. I am anyway. I don't know about you, but I am. So yes, I'm really, really pleased with that. It's come out lovely. I'll be putting some photos in so that you can see. So Donna doesn't do sizes like we would do traditional sizes. She does symbols. Let me show you. So these are the symbols here. And the reason that she does this is because she wants you to measure your body every time you're going to make something. She doesn't want you to rest on your laurels and just assume. She wants you to go in, measure yourself and not be defined by a number, which I love. So when I talk about sizing, it's a bit hard. But basically on the bust, I should be between the squiggles and the diamond. On the waist, I should be the square. And on the hips, I should be in between the squiggles and the diamond. But I went for the squiggles all the way around. And the reason for that is because there is quite a bit of ease in there as well. So it gave me 49 on the bust, and I'm a 43, so that's plenty of room, and 54 on the hips, where I'm 46. There is no measurement for the waist because obviously it's cinched in with elastic. And I'm really happy with the sizing on that actually. I did consider sizing down one more on the bust, but I actually wanted it to have that kind of like blouson effect. Blouson. Now this is a nice pattern to kind of, if you're a beginner, to kind of take it up a little notch, because you've got like your bias binding, your gathering, inserting elastic, etc, etc. But you know when you've made a pattern before and then you come to do it again, you're like, yeah, no problem, gonna do this, no problem. And then you just make loads of mistakes. That was me. That was this dress. I don't know what was going on in my head, but I kept making mistakes. I was doing my own editing. So numero uno mistake was I put the middle tier in upside down. And I'd attached the bottom tier as well by the time I'd kind of noticed. I went to put it on, I was like, this doesn't feel right on my hips. And that's because it's supposed to go out like that and then go out like that. But mine was going in and then out. Yeah, it was a lot of gathering. A lot of gathering. And I had to undo both tiers, turn it the right way up, do it all again, which was very frustrating. Then I attached the elastic to the inside of my waist, and I don't know what I was thinking. In fact, I need to just go back and check the instructions, but I did the wrong width of elastic for some unknown reason. So when I'd done it, attached it all, went to try it on, it was really loose and baggy, and I was like, there's no point in there being elastic in this. So I'd unpick that, shorten it and put it in again. So yeah, it was just one of those things, but I was so pleased that I went ahead and sorted it rather than just dumping it in a corner. I think we're all tempted sometimes, aren't we, when we get frustrated with something and it kind of takes the joy out of it to just put it to one side, but the likelihood is we ain't ever going back to it. So my advice would be just crack on, persevere and get through it. And I'm really, really glad that I did actually. Now, like I say, it's fairly easy to construct, but it is a little bit time consuming because of the gathering. Your elastic on the sleeves and on the waist are inserted into the seam line. The issue that I have with mine is that I think I must have been using a really cheap elastic because it's a bit itchy on my body. So if I was to do it again, I think what I would do is either make a casing to feed the elastic through so it was softer, or buy a much more premium elastic that's soft on your skin, because that does itch a little bit. When I've tried it on, I'm like, oh, it's itching a little bit on my arms. So there is that to kind of consider. I'm not a massive fan, I don't think, of the elastic sitting on my body. Yeah, I think I would definitely prefer it to be encased, really. Let me have a look. What else have I written? Oh, I didn't add any length to it at all, but I would really like potentially next time to extend the bottom tier and make it into a big proper maxi dress. I think that would be super nice. So that was that one. Check me out. I know, I'm doing quite well, aren't I? And then the last one that I want to talk to you about is my named clothing Rita dress. This is she here. Now, I have made this one as well before. So actually 3 out of the 4 dresses I've made before, which is quite nice. But it was quite a long time ago that I'd made this. Same with the Lotta, really, so I'd forgotten half of it. Anyway, I do love the design of this dress. So it's a shirt style dress. Oh, hey up. Hey up. It's buttoned all the way down. It has slits in the skirt, drawstring around the waist, a beautiful collar, these really lovely pockets, and then cuffs on the sleeves. And again, I love it. So I made mine in, I sound like a broken record, a fabric that I bought from Rainbow Fabrics a long time ago. But what's nice about this is I have actually, all 4 of these have been made, well, hello, I had this on the other day, so I've just wanged it back on a hanger to show you. That have used stash fabric for all these makes as well, which was really nice. So no brand new fabrics. Just doesn't want to do up now, does it? So the last one I made, which was a few years ago, was like a pale sage green with white dots on, very spring-like, but I wanted one that was going to take me into the autumn. Now, for anybody who watched the Northern Soul Sisters live when we were at Rachel's and I talked about Pooh Brown, the fact that I'm not a massive fan of it, all I've done recently is make things in brown. So I don't know what's wrong with me. I've made this, I've made a leopard print fleur, and I'm in the process of making a animal print denim jacket, which has got brown in it as well. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just love this fabric. So it's a beautiful viscose again. This like, almost like tan brown though, isn't it? With black zebra print all over it. So it's got the little slits in the side. It's buttoned all the way down. It's got beautiful collar. It's got a burritoed yoke, and I put it's a rather bright coat hanger, isn't it? It's a bit in your face. A one-of-a-kind label from Little Rosy Cheeks. This is one of her new like ribbed ones. Beautiful. I thought that looked really, really nice. And then these are the pockets. They're a little bit baggy because I've had it on. But can you see they have like almost a little split in them? So they sit really nice on your boobies. Then you've got your drawstring waist here, and then it's buttoned all the way down. And in my stash, get this, I had these buttons, and I put more buttons on than you need to have on. I prefer to put more buttons on and know that I'm going to be all right. But I had these in my stash, and I had loads of them. It was meant to be. So they're like a turquoise outer, and then on the inside they're like almost mother of pearl, but they're absolutely gorgeous and they go really well with the dress. Super happy with that one as well. So should we talk measurements? So on my bust I should have been a size 48, on my waist a 48 to 50, and on her hips a 48, but I did a 46 right the way across. The reason for that is when I made it a few years ago I was thinner, and I still wear that dress now, so I knew it was going to fit me, so I just made the straight 46, and I still had plenty of ease. So the bust gave me an inch ease, the waist gave me 10 inches of ease because it's going to be sucked in anywhere with a drawstring, and then the hips gave me 6 inches of ease, so I knew I would have plenty even with sizing down. So do bear that in mind if you do want to make it. It is quite a billowy dress, there's a lot of ease in it, and I found that I sized down between 1 and 2 sizes, no bother at all. So very happy with that. All you need is fabric, interfacing, buttons, drawstring and ribbon, and it's got a really nice construction. Let me see if I can open this up for the drawstring on the inside. So you actually, this isn't going very well, is it? Use a ribbon to create, I'll get there in the end, the casing. Yes, I used a random purple ribbon. I don't know why, but it was one that I had in my stash. And then that's what you use as your casing for your drawstring. And I really like that. In my last one, I used like a black and white striped ribbon and I loved it, which was quite contrast to the like polka dot on the inside. But I really, really like that. The only thing for me is I used a ribbon that was a little bit scratchy. Again, what is wrong with me? Definitely should use like a nice soft ribbon, or you could use bias binding, anything like that, you know, like that you've got in your stash or whatever. You could use any of that. I managed to get mine out of 3 meters just. I didn't lengthen it at all, didn't need to. I'm very lucky because Name Clothing do draft, I think, for a height of 5'8". Is it 5'8" or 5'9"? 5'8", I think. So I didn't need to extend it. Now, this isn't a beginner's pattern. The instructions were absolutely fine. There's a couple of points where I was like, but that's because there's quite a few different techniques in there. Obviously, you've got the construction of the pockets, you've got the ribbon attachment, you've got cuffs on the sleeves, you've got a collar, you've got a yoke that's burritoed, you've got splits in the side, you've got buttonholes, you name it, it's kind of in there. So it's not a quick and easy pattern, but it's a very nice pattern to make. I really enjoyed making it the second time. The thing this time that I made, the thing that I kind of was struggling with this time though, was my hem. I just couldn't get the hem instructions to go into my brain. It just wasn't happening. And I left it overnight and went back to it and I still couldn't get them into my brain. So they're supposed to be really neatly finished on the inside. Let me see if I can grab them out. So that's all supposed to be tucked in nice and neat and tidy and all that jazz. Couldn't get it to work. I ended up hacking at it, and I think I've cut about 2 inches off this anyway, to be honest. But I ended up just hemming it like a normal person, which is a bit disappointing because I did get my other one out and have a look at it, and I managed it the first time round, but there was something in my brain that was saying no. And I tried to do the thing that my sewing teacher said, which is if you do not know what you're doing, do 1 sentence at a time of the instructions. Don't look at anything else, just do 1 sentence at a time. But even that didn't work. So in the end, I gave up because I was hacking away at the dress in the end because I was making that many mistakes that I was going to end up with a mini skirt. So I didn't do any more of that. But I love that dress. Now, if I had to say which was my favourite, I think it would be the Rita dress, followed by the Lotta. I think, because I just love those. And obviously you'll see the photos of me in them. So let me know kind of which one you think. So yeah, I did do my Style Art Montana dress as well. Style Art Montana? No, it wasn't. Style Art Parma dress. So I got 5 of them done. The only other one that I had planned was the Coco Wawa, it sounds really good saying it, honeycomb dress. That is in an envelope somewhere with the fabric. I haven't cut it out or anything like that because when I came to do it, I found that I'd lost one of the AO sheets for it. Don't know where it's gone. I've searched high and low, but I've only got 1 out of the 2 AO sheets for some reason. So that will be revisited at some point, but I think for now that's just going to have to be part. But I think 5 out of 6, that's not bad, is it? Surely. I think I've done really well. Let me know in the comments section which one you think suits me the best. Please be kind. Don't be like, oh no, that one looks horrible on you, love, you don't like that. No, no, no. Please don't say that. I might cry. But anyway, yes, I hope you've enjoyed seeing everything that I've made in regards to the dresses. I will be along again to bug you, no doubt, in the not so distant future. And I hope you're all well. I hope you've had loads of time to sew. And I'll see you again very soon in my next video. Take care. Bye.